family and friends and fellow YouTubers, it's Kim here from Kim's Country Corner. And today I want to welcome you to my corner of the world, which happens to be my brother's living room at this time. And it is Valentine's Day, hence the red, February the 14th. And Cheryl from Cheryl's Country Home did a Valentine tag this morning. And I saw that Straw family had tagged her, so I want to thank both of those people for starting the tag for me. And the tag is called the Valentine tag, okay? And it has 14 questions, very appropriate for it being February the 14th. And so I'm going to answer these questions the best I can. Before I start, I just want to put a disclaimer out there that I am divorced, okay? So, but I have positive feelings about Valentine's Day. Although most people think of Valentine's Day being for couples, and I'm sure that's what it started for, I am going to look at Valentine's Day in a positive way and say it's for all people out there who love one another. I just don't think that we can spread love enough. And, you know, so even if you do not have a significant other to celebrate this Valentine's Day with, hug a friend, okay? Hug a coworker, hug your mother, hug your father, you know, hug your best friend. Just spread the love. All right, so here is question number 1. If you could have your choice between 100 roses or 100 pieces of chocolate, which one would you pick? Alright, I'm going to be honest, guys. You can probably already guess this one. I'm going to pick the 100 pieces of chocolate. And then I'm going to hide them and just divvy them out to myself one a day for the next 100 days. Yeah, that's the plan. That's the goal, okay? like Cheryl said in hers, I might be off better with 100 red roses because I really don't need the chocolate calories, but you know, those roses are going to be gone in maybe about a week, whereas 100 pieces of chocolate, if I do one a day, will last me 100 days. All right, that's the plan. That's the thought. All right, question number 2. Red or pink lips? Well, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I've never really been much into makeup. Even in my younger days, when I looked a whole lot better, I still didn't do a whole lot of makeup. However, if I did have to do makeup, and my daughter has done makeup on me, if y'all go back to some of the older videos, you'll see a mom's makeup day. I would probably go with pink, okay, because I'm kind of a self-conscious person. I'm kind of on the edge about putting myself out there. I just think red would probably be too bold for me, and so I would probably go with a softer pink. All right, favorite Valentine treat? Chocolate with nuts, okay? Hershey's has this gold box, I think it's called, where all the pieces in it have a nut in the chocolate. That's me. I love chocolate with nuts. Okay. Favorite flavor? Vanilla, chocolate, or strawberry? Do y'all want to guess? Any guesses out there? Yeah, you got it. Chocolate. Yeah. I'm a chocolate addict. What do they call those people? Chocolate holics? That would be me. All right. Married, single, or in a relationship? Well, I put out the disclaimer at the beginning that I am divorced. But I have a really strong friendship with my ex-husband. So maybe complicated relationship, I don't know. But it doesn't matter. Okay, do you believe in love at first sight? No, I'm sorry. I mean, I believe in attraction at first sight. I mean, I think you have to have that initial attraction, but I really think love is a process, okay? But since I've only been married once, I'm going to tell the story of how John and I met, because I always think it's kind of a funny story. Okay, well, John is Catholic, I am Catholic. I had just moved to Monroe City to be a teacher at the Catholic school there at Holy Rosary. And about 6 months after being there, they had set up a small group discussions. And Father John at the time had called me and asked me if I would like to facilitate one of the group discussions. A facilitator just kind of keeps the discussion moving and on topic, okay? And he thought it would be a good way for me to meet people. And of course I said yes, because in a Catholic school, you know, Father John was sort of my boss. You know, you're not going to say no to your boss. And, you know, I mean, he had good reasons. And at that time, I didn't really suffer much anxiety. So, you know, I was young. I was 23, I think, and willing to do it. So I said yes. So he told me, he goes, you're going to have a co-facilitator, and John Hancock. He goes, have you ever met John Hancock? And I laughed. I said, no, I have never met John Hancock. I've heard of John Hancock, but I've never met him. You know, kind of making a joke on the historical reference. So he laughed and he said, well, John Hancock's going to be your co-facilitator. So I was like, all right, you know, no problem. Well, that weekend I had gone out rabbit hunting with Sister, oh my goodness. I want to say Teresa, I know that's not right. Oh, we used to hunt together all the time. Anyway, I'll call her Sister Teresa for the story. I don't think that's right though. Okay, so I had gone out rabbit hunting with the sister, one of the sisters. At that time, I think our church had 3. And so we were out rabbit hunting, and you know, it was a lot of fun. Mostly we walked through the woods, although Sister Teresa was pretty good at bringing down a rabbit. But as we're walking, you know, in between shots, she says to me, have you ever met John Hancock? And I laughed, and I was like, you know, I gave her the same response. No, I've heard of John Hancock, but I've never met him, you know. And she was like, no, no, no. She goes, he is a farmer that belongs to our church group, you know, as a member of our Holy Rosary Church. And she goes, he's a really nice guy. She goes, I think he's a little bit older than you. And as it turned out, he was. He was 10 years older than I am. But she was like, he's a really nice guy, but he's really shy, you know, and quiet until you get to know him, she said. And so she goes, you know, I might have to introduce you to sometime. So I said to her, I said, well, I think Father John has already beat you to the mark, because I said, he has us set up to be co-facilitators at the upcoming group discussions. And she goes, oh, okay, well, that's good. So sure enough, the day comes when we're having this huge group discussion down in the church basement, you know, all these little groups around. And so I always arrived early when I was younger. Now I don't. But anyway, so I was standing at the table where I was supposed to be facilitating. And in walks John. And the first thing I thought whenever I saw him was, wow, he's kind of tall and handsome. You know, I mean, you know, and I didn't know him at the time, you know, but I just thought he was tall and handsome, you know. And so anyway, so Father John comes over, and John, the guy who I didn't know at the time, comes walking down the steps, and Father John says, John, I would like for you to meet Kim. Kim, this is John. You guys will be co-facilitating today. So we did, and I carried most of the weight of the discussion, because being a teacher, I kind of knew how to do that, and he was kind of quiet at that time. But afterwards, after the group discussion, he asked me, he goes, would you like to go out this weekend and maybe see a movie or something? And so I said yes, and yeah, so, and then, you know, it's been like I said before, we were married 14 years, then divorced, then lived separately for 8, then got back together and lived together for the past 10, and now I've on my own again. But like I've also said, we have a good friendship. We have a good partnership when it comes to raising our kids and our grandchildren. All right, so moving on. Number 7, favorite Valentine memory as a child. All right, this is honest God truth. I'm going to steal it from Cheryl. She and I are about the same age, so we kind of did about the same thing. But we used to decorate shoe boxes or Kleenex boxes, or any kind of a box we had. Our teachers would ask us to decorate them, and at our school they always had a best box contest for each class. And so what we would do is we had to decorate the boxes at home. And a lot of times, the parents would help and give suggestions. It's supposed to be kind of a bonding time. So we would decorate the boxes at home, take them to school, line them up in front of the class, on a table in front of the class. And then our class members voted, okay, on which one they thought was, I don't know, the cutest. They had different categories, the cutest, the funniest, that kind of thing. And then after that, they would give out, like, I think it was a popsicle, or not a popsicle, a lollipop. And it was just, something fun, something to encourage us to, get in there and work harder. And believe it or not everyone always voted for themselves. They were pretty honest about it. So we always, here's a tip or two, is they would have the teachers come in and kind of vote too. So the teachers would kind of throw off that favoritism, ballot a little bit. So anyway, all right, and I do remember I did win a couple of times. I think my sister won a couple of times, because my mom was very creative and crafty, and she would make us do most of the work. She really would. She wasn't one of those mothers that did it for us and then we had to, just go show her work. She really did make us work. But she would offer suggestions like, well, I remember the year I won, she was like, hey Kim, she goes, you really like sci-fi. How about a robot? And I remember making a robot that year and had the shoe box, and then I used paper towel rolls for the arms, and I did the work, but my mom helped me to come up with a really good idea. And okay, so moving on. So favorite childhood memory, my Valentine boxes. Favorite Valentine memory as an adult? Well, I don't know. John and I really did not get into Valentine's Day all that much. I mean, but I do remember, like, the first year, I had gotten all dressed up in red. I had on a large red sweater over a pair of white leggings, and he had bought me a bouquet of flowers and a box of chocolates, and he had taken me out to eat. And, I do remember that sticking in my mind, only because, I think it was because it was our first Valentine's, and I was all dressed up in red, and and my white leggings. I remember being able to wear white leggings and looking pretty good in them. I would not do that now. But anyway, so, he just kind of went all out, and yeah. So I do remember that. And I'm not saying that he totally ignored Valentine's Day, but, we, both of us, neither one of us really got into it that much. We really didn't do Valentine's Day heavy, except for maybe a card once in a while. And we really didn't do birthdays very heavy. But that's just us, and we were okay with it. All right. For Valentine's Day, would you eat out or eat at home? Eat out. Anytime I can have someone else fix the food, I am going to eat out. And if I could pick the restaurant, it would be Olive Garden. I love Italian. I love Olive Garden. And Olive Garden does kind of have a romantic environment, So yes. Okay, if you could only eat one color food for Valentine's Day, would it be red or white? Well, now that's a hard one because I just told you I like Italian. Well, pasta is usually white and the sauce is usually red. So, you know, I don't know that I could do one without the other. All right, excuse me. Would you want your feet massaged or your shoulders massaged? This one is easy, and I have not had one of these for so long, but I love foot massages. And when John and I were first married, and even as a young couple up until our divorce, we would sit on the couch and watch TV, watch a movie together, and he would rub my feet. Of course, he would make me wash them first. But he would rub my feet, and oh my goodness, it would feel so good. All right. Looks like we are on number 12. Favorite love song. Well, this kind of goes way back. We had picked this song for our wedding, and I still love it. And it's Anne Murray's Can I Have This Dance? And it's Can I Have This Dance for the Rest of Our Lives? And I just have always loved that song, and we used it as our wedding dancing song. Okay, favorite romantic movie. That one's difficult. I don't watch a whole lot of romantic movies, but the two that instantly like popped into my head was Got Mail with Tom Hanks and oh my goodness, what was the girl's name? Anyway, Got Mail, and then there was another one called Sarah Plain and Tall. Okay, Sarah Plain and Tall. And it's funny because both of those are like opposite ends of the spectrum. In Got Mail, they meet over the computer, so that's kind of cute. But in Sarah Plain and Tall, it's a historical one. It's like a pioneer, and he rides off for a bride, and she comes to the farm to be his bride and to see how it's going to work, and they end up falling in love. So those two. All right. What are your real feelings about Valentine's Day? I like it. I mean, well, I think it's important to have it. I think it gives everyone a day to stop and pause and think about their loved ones. And unfortunately, we sometimes need a day where we're forced to stop and think about them. You would think we, you know, should just automatically think about them like that every day, but you know, life gets hectic. So it's nice to have that day when you're kind of forced by the holiday to stop and really think about it, and then to share that love. So I think it's an important day. Some people go all out. John and I, we never went all out. We did, you know, we did exchange cards once in a while, you know, which was important. But I don't know. I think any day that you spread love is a good day. So I hope that everyone out there is having a good day on this Valentine's Day. And I hope everyone out there, like myself, remembers that it's not always for couples, okay? Let's try not to make this a couple day. Let's just try to make this a spread the love day. All right. And so yeah, so that's about all I have to say about Valentine's Day, except have a good one. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. Follow the tag. I'll try to leave the questions in the comment box so that you can follow the tag and maybe do it yourself. And just have a good one. And if you want to know more about me and my corner of the world, remember to come back to Kim's Country Corner and find out where I'm at for that day. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.